Hey everyone, okay, so this video is about the Anastasia Beverly Hills, the Subculture palette. And the reason I'm making this video, because I've actually had this palette for 7-8 days now. And the reason I'm making this video is because I've been listening and reading all the reviews and watching them. And today I saw something on Instagram and it just drove me crazy. And it was somebody with their brush in the product and they were really grinding it, right? And there was powder going everywhere. So I wanted to make this video and give you my thoughts on it. Now, as you know, Anastasia has never sponsored me for anything. They've never paid me to say anything. I can say whatever I choose, and I always do. Now, I use Anastasia's products. I use all their brow stuff because they're the best, and that's just the way it is. So, and most people know that. When it comes to eyeshadows, the loose eyeshadows, you know, the little refills, they're amazing and they're wonderful. Now, when I got this palette, my very first thought was, when I started to look at it and swatched it was, oh, these are pure pressed pigments. And what I mean by that is, it is literally a pure pigment pressed. And that's my belief on it. Now, they've not confirmed that to me because I haven't reached out to them. But as soon as I touched it, the amount of pigment that is released from the product gives me the I believe it is a pure pressed pigment. And matte shades in general are notorious with fallout, and they just are, some more than others. Now, there's no point in pretending that this palette does not produce fallout, because it does. But I want you to take a little look at this because I'm going to talk you through it. So here you go. You can see the palette, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to swirl my brush around and around the product, and you're going to see the powder fly everywhere and just be genuinely irritating, right? So you can see it absolutely releases pigment, especially if you swirl your brush around, which is what we're seeing all the time on Instagram. So let's look at another palette. This palette is by Anastasia Beverly. Let's take a look. So you can see swirling my brush around in the same manner, and I'm using my brushes, which are really soft. Guess what? Products going everywhere. Let's try the Charlotte Tilbury ones. Now these ones are predominantly shimmer shades. Now shimmer, even, those shades tend to be packed much better. They produce less fallout, but they're still going to produce fallout. As you can see, product is still coming off. If you're going to go like this, like you're masturbating feverishly, then product is going to get released, and that's just the way it is. Now, even with a light touch, as you can see here with this palette, product is getting released. But this brings me back to my first point, which was these are a pure pressed pigment. They are going to release product. If you buy this on the theory that that is what they are, then you will like this palette, because truly, pigmentation wise, is probably the strongest you're going to get from a matte eyeshadow, you know, without actually say getting a loose pigment, because they are so intense. That's why they're a pure pigment. They are intense and they are going to release product. So I hope that kind of sums it up, and I hope that that gives you an idea of what I feel about the palette. I think it's a really good palette. Yes, it releases product, and yes, that's going to be problematic for some people, but grinding away at product is just absolute craziness, and watching it on Instagram is just insane. All day. It's like, okay, you know, any product will do that. But there you go. Let me know what your thoughts are on this palette. Generally speaking, I think it's a really good palette, but matte shades in general release product, and these release product absolutely more so than other palettes, but all matte eyeshadows will release product if you grinded them. No matter how soft the brush is, if you're going to do that, you're going to release product. But if you're looking for that kind of intensity, then you've got it. Bear in mind that all matte eyeshadows are problematic when blending. They just don't blend as beautifully as shimmer shades because there's more emollients in them. With matte, as you can tell by the name, the emollients have been removed, leaving you with a very intense pigment that has fallout. If you struggle with fallout all over your foundation, there's a really quick remedy. Do your eyes first, clean it up, and then apply the rest of your makeup. Let me know what your thoughts are on this palette. I think it's a really nice palette, and I don't care what anyone else says on Instagram. I know there's fallout, and truth be told, this brush really doesn't belong in there because this brush is a stiff brush. It's quite a harsh brush, but what can I say? I don't mind it, and I don't hate it, and I don't care if this doesn't get 1 million views. This is my thoughts. There you go. Let me know what you think. Right down there in the description bar, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.